Welcome to another video of Walk with Phil, and today I'm in Oldbury, not far from Oldbury town centre. I've got Sainsbury's not far from me, and what I want to do in this video is just take you to the unit on the Oldbury Green retail park, which is going to host a brand new store here in town, and it's going to be a very popular shop as well. They've got quite a few of these shops all around the country, and so I'm going to show you what it is and where it is. But before I do that, I'll take you around one or two of the roads around the retail park, and let's have a look, see what we can find. I'm going to start here where you can see the signage for Bromford Road. I do believe that back in the day, or back into the 50s, 60s, Church Street would have been along here, and perhaps a little bit further along before it became Bromford Road. And you can see a lot of new apartments and townhouses where once stood foundries and factories. Ahead of me is the Oldbury Ringway that was constructed in the 60s, 70s. And here you can see an old canal bridge, and I'll just take you along this little path and show you that once the canal used to run along here, and it was part of the Birmingham Canal network, and this was the old Birmingham Canal Old Line, and you can see where the canal bridge has all been filled in now. I'm not really sure when the canal ceased to be, but the canal, this old canal, would have run all the way around the town centre of Oldbury, serving many factories around here as well. The case in point was just here, where there was a huge iron foundry where all these newer apartments now stand. But yeah, there used to be a large iron foundry there on the left, and it would serve many factories around the centre of Oldbury. Another one would have been the London Steelworks. But anyway, this was where the canal bridge, and of course the canal now would have run underneath, but which would have been Church Street. And where you can see all the trees there, that's where the canal would have run. Now we approach a road on the left called New Meeting Street, which if you see it now, it's now been truncated. It's blocked off at the end, so you can't go any further, but it would have led you onto Church Street, but it's all blocked off now. And you can see now that the area is devoid of any of the old terrace properties that once stood along New Meeting Street. Now you can see it all gone, and all new houses now, look. Semi-detached and flats. And if you was to, not quite directly, directly here would have come onto Church Street, but if you was to look over there, just past the island, there was West Bromwich Street would have begun just there, and the canal would run underneath this island here, or mini roundabout, and where all these trees were, the canal more or less would follow that tree route of the canal. And where you can see the island, this small traffic island here, would have been the junction of West Bromwich Street and Church Street, and on the corner there would have been a public house called what was it called now? Harmonica. Originally called the Harmonia. But it was the Harmonica, and it was there right up until the 60s. I think it was about 1860 when it was built, and then about mid to late 1960s, I think it was demolished, along with a lot of old terrace properties around there as well. And if we go up along here in Church Street, you will coming to the main Oldbury town centre, where really it's just Sainsbury's now. So there you can see just ahead of me there, that would have been more or less the road into West Bromwich Street. And along this path here, just to the left of the Oldbury Ringway, this would have formed the canal, the old Birmingham Old Line Canal would have run along here. You've got a spur road off Oldbury Ringway that will take you onto West Bromwich Street. And West Bromwich Street is devoid of any character now, really. It's all new properties down there now. Now, if you look ahead there, that's the car park for all the workers of the Sandwell Council House here, just to the left. Built on an old road called Orchard Terrace. And you can see, look, how many cars are on that car park over there. If all those cars over there parked in that car park are people who work here at the Sandwell Council House, I'll tell you what, they don't half employ a few people. It's absolutely rammed over there. Hundreds of cars. And you see where all these trees are ahead. That was used to be an old road that was called Lime Terrace. And either side of Lime Terrace would have been a lot of terraced houses. And where all the cars are, that used to be a lot of old industrial land. There's a lot of factories over the back. And you can see this flyover or walkway bridge here. This is constructed again for the people who work at the council house from the car park. And the canal now would have just taken a slight bend to the right now, as it would have flowed underneath that traffic island ahead. And all along here where the road is, that would have been old factories and mills along here. And just at the end there was an old depot of sorts that was once stood there as well. It is very difficult to picture how it all used to be. I mean, there's a lot of old houses here to my right, as I said, form parts of Lime Terrace. Now it's all very clean and modern. It's all tree lined. So it looks particularly smart around here now, but it's hard to imagine that a canal would once used to flow over there through this island, and then it would flow underneath. Well, you see Burger King just there on the Oldbury Green retail park. It's just where we're going, and it would flow underneath that Burger King building there and flow through the old home-based garden centre, and would run then at the back of all the retail units that are on the centre, and would join the Wolverhampton Canal. Anyway, we're going to risk life and limb to cross here, the Dudley Road. That ahead of me is Dudley Road, onto Dudley Road East and West, and that would take you into Dudley. And there's the Sandwell Children's Trust building. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go have a look at the retail park, because I want to show you of an exciting new store that's going to be opening very soon. And there's Sainsbury's there. And prior to that being Sainsbury's, of course, it used to be the Ava Centre, and then before that the land would be occupied by a bus station with Tabernacle Street and Talbot Street and Inkerman Street forming a kind of triangle. They knocked down a lot of old heritage buildings when they built Sainsbury's. There was churches, there was pubs, houses. town hall, most of the town hall. I'm going to show you what's on this retail park as well, because when you think about it, Oldbury is really bucking the trend when it comes to retail. All right, the main area where there was loads of shops around Free Street, they're all gone now, but when they built this place, who would have thought how popular it would become? To such an extent now, there's other buildings being constructed actually on the car park now. The Oldbury Green Retail Park is a very, very popular, destination for people who come to shop. And as I said, Olbury's really bucking the trend when it comes to retail. I guess one or two of you also know what used to be on this site before it became a retail park, and it was the Oldbury goods yard for trains. All the trains would pull in here from the 1880s or wherever to right until the mid-60s. But the entrance to this particular section of the road, you probably followed the old railway line, and just in the distance on the right is a bingo club called Mecca Bingo, and that formed part of the railway station, Oldbury railway station, back in the late 1800s to the early 1900s. And opposite the Mecca Bingo there would be the opposite platform, and that building opposite Mecca Bingo was closed in 1916. So the railway station itself closed in 1916 and it never reopened. And the building itself opposite Mecca Bingo was used as a parcel office for quite some time after. But the railway still served a purpose as it came through here and through this particular area here, where you can see where Taco Bell is, which I'll show you now. That was one of the goods stations where lots of goods would be unloaded and taken off the trains, ready to be transported to wherever. And it's hard to imagine it. All these railway lines on this site running to the left, to the right, and there was behind Aldi ahead, that's where the canal would have run, the old line, Birmingham Canal. It would have run behind there, and so the trains and the canals would join, the railway lines and the canal would join, and it facilitated access from the trains to the canal barges to take goods to the many factories around here. And lots of factories. I mean, beyond Aldi there used to be the Oldbury Gasworks, but yes, it was here where Taco Bell is. That was where an old goods shed used to be, and there was also another goods shed just down there in front of Aldi. But now what we got on here now, we got a card factory. Just show you what we got here now, because shops close and then the units are not empty for too long because of the popularity of this site. And you've got Costa Coffee and Greg's, and the Smith's, the toy superstore. It's been there a long time, you know. Online shopping hasn't finished off Smith's yet. And they've got the food warehouse just there, but that really is just another name for Iceland, isn't it? So you've got Iceland over there, and you've got a charity, the Salvation Army, and a shoe zone. Now, shoe zone over there, it used to be sort of ahead of me where Aldi is. They took two large units where Thomas Cook used to be, and the shoe shop, shoe zone. Shoe zone moved over there. Benson's for Beds on the corner, and that used to be Carpet Ride. But Carpet Ride, didn't they just go into administration and go bust? And I think Benson's for Beds, that's closed down. So there is an empty unit on the site. There's Pets at Home, and of course the Aldi. I did a video on Aldi when it opened, and we've got Costa again inside Next, very popular clothes store. That always lots of people in there. And we've got, as I say, we've got Taco Bell and Hayes Travel. Didn't they take over all the Thomas Cook units? I think they did. I'll just show you here, we've got Poundland as well. And we've got 2 coffee stores, both of them Costa, but there's a third one here. This was recently built. Not sure how popular it is or how well it's doing, but there's Starbucks drive-through. As I said in the previous video, who'd have thought you'd have drive-through coffee shops, eh? Amazing, really. And another store, another building constructed on this site was just over there. Look, Burger King. Seems to be doing all right. I just noticed Taco Bell, there was a bit of a queue going on in there, and you often wonder why there's such a queue in these places, and it's all because since COVID days people started to order food online and have it delivered, you know, the takeaways, and it's still continued from them days. And you get all Just Eat and Uber Eats and all these people coming in with these big orange bags going into these takeaway stores, and of course you're waiting to be served, but they're doing all the orders for Just Eat and those sorts of people. But anyway, this is what we've come to show. I've come to show you. This was Homebase, wasn't it? And I don't know why it seems odd to think that it closed down, because it was always a very popular store. Loads of people were in there. Homebase has been closed since around 2024. This is a Friday afternoon in October 2025, so it's been gone a whole year now. But you can see they used to have a garden centre on the end there, but this coming very shortly in the next 3 or 4 weeks will be, wait for it, the Range. Yeah, the Range, and a very popular store is the Range, and I think this will do particularly well here. I mean, the Range was founded in 1989 by Charles Dawson, and it was rebranded in the 90s. And the Range expanded rapidly in the 2000s. And in the 2000s, the Range was regarded as one of the fastest growing retailers in the country. And you can see there's the site here with this car park. It's still quite large. Loads of parking here, and in fact, it's all free, but you've only got a limited time. You've got 3 hours to park on here. And I think over the year you've got Sainsbury's car park again. That's free. Well, you got 2 hours anyway. Then you get fined. But here is, as I said, this is going to be the Range, and the Range acquired Wilko, the Wilko brand, didn't they? And they returned some of the Wilko shops back to the high street in December 2023. And of course, when this place closed down, the Range acquired a lot of the Homebase stores as well. They acquired 49 of the stores, and they're rebranding all these Homebase stores now as the Range. They've also got the Bath store brand as well, haven't they? But actually, Homebase hasn't exactly disappeared. You can still go online. The Range own the Homebase website, so you can still go on homebase.co.uk. But the Range, the thing about the Range is it's like a kind of a variety store, isn't it? And it would have rivaled things like Woolworths and Trago Mills down south. That huge, sprawling variety store. But the Range carries a lot of stuff like home furnishings and pets and leisure, arts and crafts, paint and decor, kitchens, gardening and bathrooms. So it's going to be the Range, and a lot of people are rather looking forward to that particular shop. I think it'll do very well. I think 1 or 2 of you already knew that it was going to be the Range, because a lot of the Homebase stores are now being turned over to that particular company. And the nearest one we have to Oldbury is by the West Bromwich Albion Football Club in Handsworth along the Birmingham Road. That's the nearest one, so this one's going to draw quite a few people around here to this store. In fact, the retail park is extraordinarily popular as it is. We've got Aldi on here, we've got Iceland on here, we've got the clothing store, we've got Burger King, we've got Starbucks, and the car park is quite big, but on any given day it could be overflowing with cars when the Range starts trading here on site. But anyway, we leave it at that. Well, actually, what I will do before I leave it at that, I'll probably come and have a look when the store opens and look at some crazy queues. Anyway, we leave it at that. And if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos. And I'll see you on the next one.